So as of right now, we're sitting here with Kathy Lansford, who's been in the industry for
35 years.
35 years. I don't believe it. I don't believe
No, I'm not that old.
it. So in real estate industry for 35 years, has it always been in home warranty?
Always been in home warranties for 35 years.
All right. How did you get into that?
Basically, I had a sister-in-law that was an escrow officer, and I was getting out of the candy business. I was making a lot of money in charity candy business. And she said, you should be a title rep. Well, then it was a big market and it was hard to get in.
Hold on, back up.
Okay.
Charity candy. What's that?
Well, it was, like when you have Girl Scouts or, well, not Girl Scouts because they have their own cookies, but you have charities for schools, for football, things like that. So I would get the candy and give that to the children to, they would sell and make money on it.
And so that was 35 years ago. And so you were 3?
Yeah. 3. No, 6. I was 6.
All right. So then you get into home warranty, and then what? You just take off from there.
Yeah. It took off. I loved it. And
Yeah.
then I was a single mom for many years with my twins, and I made a career out of it.
Well, they followed in your footsteps.
I love it. And
Yeah.
that's why I've stayed with home warranties for 35 years. I love taking care of the agents, the homeowners, when they move into their new home.
So I want to get into the real meat of, no, I won't get into that. I'll get into it a little bit. Okay, so here's my take on this. So agents use you for you. They're not using the company that you're working for any other reason because you're the rep, right? So basically, why you're sitting here. You go somewhere else, I'm following you.
Yes.
Same thing in real estate. People are using agents based off of who they are, not who their big shield is, right? So they can go anywhere, who cares, forward facing, they're using the brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after after 30 years, right, you up and shift companies.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear a little bit, or as much as you're willing to share on that story.
I don't know if you'll be posting this, but
we can cut whatever you want to cut.
Okay. Basically, I was with the company for 34 years.
Feel free to use
Gave
names.
them my life, and raised my children working as hard as I could. I was #1 in the nation for many, many years. I have lots of rings and necklaces with the diamonds on it. And last Friday, a year ago, everybody on Facebook thought it was a April Fool's joke. But I got a call to be on a Zoom, and I thought it was about a big event I was putting on in Las Vegas, and was just told that they're letting 30 people go today, and it has nothing to do, with me, and I'm one of them. So, I was already a year before that going to go to another company,
Mhm.
and yeah, so that's what happened, and here I am, and it's just totally amazing. It was kind of like I had a blindfold on, and now, the coverage, the president of our company was with the prior company for 30 years,
Mhm.
and she's been there 7, but there's probably 40, 50 of us over at the new company, Fidelity Home Warranty, and it's like totally amazing.
All right. So how much are they kicking themselves right now?
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I don't
Like how? Because you're obviously, I'm guessing everybody followed you. Right?
No, not
Really?
everybody. Yeah, because the last 5 years, basically, I was a district manager, so I wasn't boots on the ground, and I had 4 reps that were working the territory.
Well,
But I do have a big percentage, and
Yeah.
it's just so amazing every day. I'm just looking to get the yeses. Yes,
Well, that's cool. So we invited Kathy here, mainly to kind of talk to our agents. We have about 300 now in 7 states, but you're just California, right?
We are in other states.
Okay. Well, then we'll talk to all of our agents.
And I'm a strategic manager, so I can manage and set that up.
Okay.
So like today, I'm going to San Diego. So we have different, reps in different cities and stuff.
And I know talking about home warranty to most people is going to be pretty boring, but you seem pretty excited about it. So give me the pros of working for now Fidelity. I guess, are they better? And give me the ins and outs of the new company.
I think, just being with a company that cares and wants to take care of all the reps, the new president, the president at Fidelity, but really I had no idea of coverage, service. Once a month I go on a Zoom with 10 of my contractor relations, and with home warranties, it's all about the contractors, keeping it local, making sure they're doing a good job. And so once a month I have a Zoom with my contractor relations department. And we go over, hey, we need a new rekey person in, Temecula. We need a pool person in La Quinta.
Yeah,
So
right.
that's really amazing. But service, coverage, and price.
Yeah.
But then also having that person you can go to. Like if you need help, a second opinion, waive a trade call fee, just different things like that. You have somebody right there for you.
And so now you're back in the trenches of being a full rep.
Full rep, and I get to oversee. I have 4 reps now,
Right.
but then I can oversee different areas and, strategically get us locked in with them.
And so again, the reason why I've been using Kathy for the last 27 years now, so I'm not too far behind you, is whenever there's an issue, because most of the time there's not really an issue because the company can kind of take over and handle the situation. But whenever there was, she was always there to step up for me and for our company. And so when she came to me and told me she was changing, it was obviously no brainer for me. And so that's what I want to do, and just to kind of support her is with all of our agents is to ask to you guys to at least give her a shot, right? Give Fidelity a shot because when there is an issue and you make the phone call, she'll answer and she'll handle it. From what she can. I mean, obviously there's situations where she can't, but for the most part, at least she'll be responsive and understand what's going on. So that's my plug for Kathy. But let's talk a little more about real estate because you've been in the industry for 35 years, and you've seen it change a little bit. How has the industry changed over the years that you see? Because back in the day, we used to be able to party.
Yeah.
And people used to be able to take care of the realtors. Now with RESPA and all this other crap, you can't do it. So how are you, how has your process changed to get business?
I think the process has changed is, when I was younger and brand new, I was just going out there making relationships and kind of splattering and partying and create, being friends and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's really different now. I mean, now you really need to zero in on who's doing the business, who needs the help, loyalty, things like that. So it's really changed in that way. Fortunately, the home warranties, we can still, do things with offices and sponsor things. I try to sponsor golf tournaments or something that's important to that office.
Yeah.
Today I'll be going to San Diego for an awards event for an office. So we try to do things like that. But
yeah. And so in the industry, obviously, it's opened some doors for you because you're big now in investing in real estate, right? So tell me a little bit about what you have.
Everybody should be.
Right. So give me the background of how you got into that, and then where you currently are, and what you have going on.
Yeah. Probably 22 years ago, I started doing the Robery Kiyosaki. I got coached by him. I did the cash flow, which you have to take your net sheet and play this game. It's like Monopoly, but you got to get it.
That is what cramped there.
Oh, you're kidding. So I started reading all those books and tapes and things like that. And I just thought, God, OPT, other people's money, other people's time. And, even I have a little money in the stocks and stuff, but really that's kind of scary. But I think with real estate, even if the market goes down, as long as you don't sell, and if you're putting 20% down on something, you're making the equity and the appreciation on something that was $300,000 or $600,000.
So how many? So do you do mainly Section 8 or do you have multiple?
No, I go in, never focused on Section 8. I do love it because I do seniors. That was one of the things Robery Kiyosaki said, seniors and beach property. And so I kind of took on the seniors, trying to give them a better place. I mean, I have staff that handles and takes care of the seniors and everything they need. My problem is I become such good friends with the tenants.
Right, you don't raise their rent.
It's not a problem, but
Yeah, it's a good problem.
Yeah.
Because you care, and that's a
yes, I don't go in focusing on that, but it's kind of come in, and I love Section 8.
So you have 2 girls now that are in the industry as well. Are they both in the industry? One's title, one's are they both title?
The real estate agent in Venice.
Okay.
And then Tiffany is a title rep in LA, Beverly Hills area.
And who's she with?
She's with Chicago Title.
Cool. And are they following those same footsteps as far as investing, or?
Yes, they are.
That's cool.
They're investing, and like Melissa will do my leases for me and do things like that.
Yeah.
But they have several properties on their own.
That's cool.
And I think it's so important.
Yeah.
And we just recently you know, the appreciation of things depending on where they're at. They have one property in Westlake, and we were looking at it the other day, and we're like, that is not appreciated like their property in Manhattan Beach. So now it's kind of looking at things like that. You know, is there a better place for, you know, that investment to do a 1031 exchange or something?
Well, let me ask you that then. So when you buy, are you looking more on cash flow or on appreciation?
I was more looking on things I could get in and make the payments.
Yeah.
And, you know, now after 20 years, rent's gone up, they've paid off the mortgage, you know, so it just all comes together.
Yeah.
And even if tomorrow the market just crashed, as long as you don't put yourself in a position where you have to sell, then
Sure.
there's no problem. And
Well, with the rents the way they are, I mean,
yeah,
my gosh,
unfortunately,
yeah, they're crazy.
they've really come a long way.
Because that was one of the questions I saw actually Robery Kiyosaki answer the other day, as far as buying for investment, or buying for cash flow or buying for appreciation, right? So if you're buying down by the beach, you're obviously going to buy for the appreciation because your rents for cash flow
Barely, yeah.
can be low, or, you know, very thin margins. But you buy in Sun City, where you're buying simply for cash flow because it's not going to appreciate very much in a senior area, but you have easier to get in and cash flow pretty much right away. So
I think mainly getting into something that you can afford to make the payments for a while and wait for the appreciation and the rent's going up.
and somebody else making your payments for you.
Other people's making the payment for you. So, you know, and you're only looking at the 20 or 30% down, whatever you put down of your money.
Yeah, sure.
But you're making the appreciation on, you know, something a lot
And
larger.
depreciation.
And what I tried to do too, which I wish I had learned or knew earlier, is when I moved out of a property, I kept it as a rental and then moved to another property and kept it as a rental. So some of them I've personally lived in, and that's been really good. I mean, the first one I bought was at 8% interest, and then it went to 9, and then it went to 10. It was a HUD home. So every year the interest rate went up, but now I barely owe anything, and it's a 2.2 loan. So you refi, you know, when it's time.
Okay, so then with that being said, do you refi, pull money out, and then go reinvest, or are you trying to pay things off?
Well, Robert did teach me that. So I had a beach house down in Carlsbad, and I had a lot of appreciation there. So, you know, you could do the line of credit. And so I bought 3 properties from that line of credit.
It's awesome.
And, you know, it's better than buying a boat or, you know, I do like fancy shoes, but not too fancy.
God. So that's the one thing I look at, even from the realtor's point of view. There's so many realtors out there that have these opportunities, and you weren't even on the real estate side. You were on the back side of it. And they
need to buy.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just the opportunities that this industry allows. You know, I've been able to get into a brewery, cannabis, different opportunities that it affords you, and just having the wherewithal to take advantage of it. Because that's the big pitch right now. So if you look at, no, I'm off topic a little bit, but there's the new Kiyosaki's out there now that are using other people's money, and it's like now subject to properties is a big push. These wholesalers coming in with no money and flipping contracts, fix and flip guys, the BRRRR model, the buy, rehab, rent out model. God, I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah, there's so many different options out there, and you guys
and you just need to kind of keep it simple, focus on one thing, because sometimes I get going like, oh my God, I should do this, you know. So I've bought a couple flips lately, and I just didn't want to flip them and pay the taxes, so I kept them, and so now, you know.
They're rentals, right? That's not a bad thing. So as long as they cash flow, it's great. Yeah.
So my girls and I, we kind of put our hats on and did videos of, you know, the flip looking like it looked. So I was trying to teach them how to do that. And then, you know, when it came time to sell, we just had a nice tenant offer, you know, rent, and did that.
So you golf.
I love to golf.
You almost fell in the water the other day.
I did. You saw that. I was showing off.
Yeah.
I do cartwheels for birdies.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
I played yesterday with a couple brokers out in Indian Wells yesterday. And I think they were surprised when someone got a birdie and I did a cartwheel for them. But
that's pretty funny.
I used to do it if I did a good shot, but then I was, you know, then you do too many. It's got to be special.
You get better. It's like, holy shit. Yeah.
You got to keep it special.
You're just cartwheeling down fairways.
But I love charity golf tournaments.
Yeah.
You know, so
there's not as many anymore because they seem to be. Well, maybe I'm just getting to the point where I'm not into them as much. But back when we were younger, there seemed to be a lot more of them.
The Davi one's coming up in June.
What's that one?
Davi is for children with heart disease.
Okay.
And so my girls and I were both camp counselors, and we went on the camping.
Mhm.
And so that one's coming up, and that's going to be at Pachanga. That's a really awesome one.
That's pretty cool. So are you involved in putting them on or just sponsor?
Just sponsoring, helping out, with the Davi. I'm bringing a bunch of door prizes and, things like that, trying to put the word out there. But they're always a fun event,
Yeah, that's cool. 'Cause I'm trying to
especially
think
when
of
it's
the
for
one.
charity.
There was one that we used to go to at Temecula Creek a lot. I'm trying to think of it, and it was just an absolute shit show, as
They,
most of them were.
they are. They got to get 144 golfers,
And that was back, we had the Zings and Horton, and man, the industry, I don't know, maybe it's just that I left, but the industry seems to have softened a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, back then it seemed to be more
Yeah.
fun. Now it's more serious.
Yeah.
But I missed that part
I
of it.
remember the Vegas
Oh,
Vegas
oh my
trips and
gosh.
shutting down Rum Jungle and
Yeah, I was like 12, so I
Yeah.
remember that. All right, so both of your girls are in the industry. They're getting investing.
It's
What else?
really important.
Yeah.
I mean, when I see agents, I just really try to say, just even when you move, try to move and keep that property or some way figure it out how you can get a portfolio of some things, because you'll be so happy 10 years, 20 years from now, because you just can't work as hard to make enough money to retire. You really can't.
Yeah,
You have to have your money working for you.
for sure. Are you a reader?
I'm not. I do most of the stuff on because I'm driving around. Like I drove here this morning.
Yeah.
So I do most of my stuff on tapes, but 90% of the stuff comes,
Yeah.
I like Raving Fans. I remember that
Yeah,
one.
it's up there too.
You got Raving Fans?
I got a bunch of them that I haven't read yet, but
Todd Duncan, Power to Be Your Best. I have read some books,
yeah.
but usually I'm in my car and driving, and I love to have it on the tapes and stuff.
yeah.
Real
so-
Estate Investor. I think that was put on by Keller Williams.
Mhm.
That was a really good one for me. I still don't get the red light, green light, about spending.
Yeah,
So sometimes I'm like,
Yeah, if you have
okay.
it, spend it. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Green light.
Now, because I'm always curious to see, because you've obviously been very successful, and if there was any books that you've in the past either read or listened to that you would, I mean, obviously Raving Fans, which is what you do, because yes, I'm a Raving fan, right? So it's an important book. It's an easy read. What
Power
else?
to Be Your Best by Tom Duncan was great.
Yeah.
But all of the Robery Kiyosaki,
It's
Why
funny.
We Want You to Be Rich, that was one of them also. That was a really good one.
So you were coached by his industry or by him?
Yeah, no, by his industry, but it was way back 20 years ago. And so, during the week you had to do all this homework. It was a lot of work. And then on the Saturday you would have an appointment with a coach, and you really had to go through your net sheet, see where you can make, cut things, make money, cutting spending. But playing that game, the first time I had friends come over and go, come on, let's play this game.
Yeah.
And we opened up the bottles of wine and we start to play, and we're like, you cannot play this game when you're drinking wine,
You totally
because
You buy everything.
yes. And that's a good one too. But doing a net sheet, and trying to get out of the rat race and then get out and to the other part of the game. But it's totally a monopoly. But
in real life, yeah.
Yeah, but
That's cool.
buying everything, that was one thing. I wish I had the mindset that I had 20 years ago. So think big. Think, I wish I would have bought 40 just like everybody else.
Sure.
you know.
Well, the problem is, so I had that same mindset, but it's holding on to them. Because back when we were flipping houses with Chris and I mean, we flipped over 150 houses in 10 years. And had I kept half, it wouldn't have sucked. But like trying to finance that many houses, after a while, you can only finance 10 houses, right? So it becomes difficult. And so we had, basically our 10, and it was capped off for normal financing, or harder to get financing. And so, I look back and like, shit, man, some of the things that we bought at the price we bought them, it was just crazy. Yeah.
I started buying the Menifee houses at $30,000.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a down payment.
Yeah, but there's a new name that's come around into my field, because like when I got hired with Fidelity, they sent me a bottle of Foley wine, and I was like, oh, that's nice. Well, I guess part of Fidelity owns a winery, and then I went to New Zealand, and we stayed at this house, and it was owned by Bill Foley, and then I find out he has a place in Montana, and I'm like, I want to be like Bill Foley.
Yeah.
So I think he just. You just get into a place where it's just compounding interest, and the same thing with, rental properties and stuff. It's just compounding interest, and appreciation, rents go up, just, a mixture of all of them.
Are you gonna open a winery?
Pardon?
Are you gonna open a winery?
No, but I'll help them drink the wine.
All right. So I guess now, so we can get into like more of going to our agents. What questions would an agent ask you, or what would you want to say about Fidelity or about home warranties that you'd want our agents to understand and know?
I just don't think that, just like a real estate agent, all home warranties are the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think it's a good idea to interview, some
No, it's not.
other.
Just go to Kathy.
Just come to me. Just interview me. Call me.
You don't need to be all modest.
Yeah, but just seeing the different coverages and the different prices and service and all of that, just having the company behind you and stuff, I think it's really important.
And so the difference between, I guess, you used to be with Older Public to Fidelity. Is there a big price difference? And then you mentioned like they're not all the same. And how much better, or is Fidelity, like I'm guessing it is, better than say one of the others?
Yeah, there's big differences depending on who they are. Older Public was always a really good company, until the end.
Until I let you go. It's stupid.
Yeah, until I let me go.
Stupid company.
But I was already leaving a year ago, and that might have something to do with it
Yeah.
because of the service and stuff. But our coverage are, in the desert in Coachella Valley, we do casitas and AUDs for free, so there's no charge. In our plans, we have more coverage, especially on renewals. So if someone is renewing their home warranty, why not shop around? Give me a call. I probably can save them $150 to $500. So if they have a pool, things like that, because the warranties do go up. One of the things we do with real estate agents is we always give them brochure pricing, so we don't increase their renewals every year. So we save them a lot of money. But our trade call fee's always been less. Our coverage is more, like we throw in HVAC tune-up, so you don't have to pay extra for it, water softeners. So in our elite plans, we have a lot of coverage like that. Manufacturer warranty, but we're always looking. We're going to come out with a new plan, and we're going to have, now we have the touchless faucets. Mm-hmm. That drive me crazy because every time I walk by it, I get my hand under it and the water goes on.
All right, now, okay, I'm just thinking as you're talking, give me some stories of like some good stories of asshole agents that you just want to just suck in the face.
No way. I don't have very many of those, but
Kim turned
just like home warranties, when companies and service and contractors.
Come on, give me agents are notoriously self-centered and expect everything. They're entitled. Right, so I want to hear something. You have some stories. Give me one. Make it about Mike Zing. Mike Zing's my buddy, so we can talk a little bit of crap on him. Give me. All right, I won't do that. All right.
You're so bad. Well, one thing that comes to mind is I had a broker who's been in the business a really long time. And she figured she didn't need to do a home inspection, and it closed escrow, and there was dog urine on the air conditioner, and that's not covered by home warranty companies. And so sometimes having a home inspection, it finds things like that.
Why isn't that required from you guys?
The home warranties?
Yeah.
I think it's just a state thing, and make it somebody do that. I know, NHDs are required. There's certain things that are required, but home warranties are not.
No, I mean,
a good agent's going to put a home warranty.
No, I mean, why isn't an inspection part of what you guys would require?
I think it would just make it too difficult. We go by when the homeowner moves in. A lot of times the inspection's done a month before anyway, or 3 weeks before. And we really don't cover that unless they put seller's coverage on it, which is a great tool to use, to put seller's coverage on after the home inspection and you've had everything fixed, because there's that gap. But we don't. We ask by good faith, simple mechanical tests that everything seems to be working. But there's a lot of things that home warranties don't cover, and that's probably one of the hardest parts of my job, is the things that are not covered. Pet damage,
sure. And then
somebody jerry-rigged something.
All right, so educate, because this is. I've been doing it for a long time. I don't know all there is to know about home warranties, but when it comes to the things that are not covered, so what's important for an agent to know, I guess, coming in? Because even for me, like, I don't know what all is covered in home warranty. I probably should.
I think the best thing to do is you have your team. No, Honestly, I don't. I think you have your home warranty team.
Yeah.
And just don't oversell something. Just like if they see a crack or mold or something, don't say, kind of have the expert do it. But I think it's really a good idea to give them a copy of the brochure with your rep's business card on there and say, if anything should break before you fix it on your own,
Yeah,
call the warranty company to
the
see if
company,
it's
not the
covered.
rep.
Yes,
You
yeah.
don't want
Call the
calling
home
you.
warranty to make sure. Yeah, but it's nice them knowing that, the rep is a call away and that you have your team and we're the ones that's saying what is covered and what isn't. But so many times, I mean, here's one. I had a homeowner swear to God, left a voicemail that says, "What do you mean that's not covered? My agent told me to wait a week and call." And I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
no.
Yeah.
So everything needs to be in good, safe working order.
Yeah.
It's normal wear and tear.
I'm sure you allow that
But
too.
we don't cover shower pans. We don't cover the bathtub. So there are things. We cover ants, crickets, roaches, mice, spiders, black widows, but we don't cover rats because of how much, more work it is to take care of them and what we can put in the budget of the plan.
Yeah. And then so how about roofs?
Roofs, we have
Limited
roof
coverage?
coverage. It is limited roof coverage, but we also cover over the garage, which some of the home warranty companies don't cover over the garage. But it covers up to $1,000, which is, just kind of like a limited roof repair.
Sure, for sure. I'm trying to think of what else a good agent would have asked. I don't even know what to ask you.
Okay. So I was going to give you the questions to ask.
I know, but I didn't know how deep we're going to get into like coverage and whatnot. But,
Yeah.
all right. So then, okay. So you
But I
guys,
think given the brochure on the walkthrough to your clients and them knowing you have a team, making sure you have a home inspection because it's
Yeah.
going to find things that home warranty won't even have covered.
right.
Um,
So
and
knowing before.
yeah,
and
and then this new A2L Freon. There's a new Freon law that came into effect in January. So now a good question to ask your home warranty company, say if your coils go out and you need to install a condenser. One, are they going to cover the condenser because it's not broken? But two, are they going to cover the labor and the condenser? So I think that's important because they may not cover the labor on
And
that.
what's the answer?
Fidelity covers it all.
That's a good answer.
That one. We covered it all. So
Yeah.
we would cover, the unit on the outside if it didn't match or, it had to be changed out. And we would cover the labor so the homeowner doesn't have to pay the labor. Same thing with manufacturer warranties. So someone moves into a home and the water heater is, a newer water heater that the seller had put in. So it's under a warranty.
Sure.
Most warranty companies will go out and say that's under a manufacturer warranty. You need to go take care of it. With us, if you have that coverage, it's included in our top 2 plans. You can also add it for $10. We would not only go out, find the part, because that's the hardest part. Like, I got to find the part on my own because it's under a warranty and call the manufacturer, then have it installed. We would get the part and cover the labor. So, the manufacturer warranty, if something is under that, it's covered. And that's really good for new homes because we have home warranties for brand new homes. And that covers the homes from years 2 to 5. So it's 4 years of coverage.
How long I guess they're all different, but typically for a manufacturer warranty, is it per item?
Yeah, it depends on the item. I mean,
And how it's
microwave could only be, a year.
Yeah.
They know when a contractor will know when they, put it
Plug it
in
in.
to get the part or, that's under warranty, let's get the part
Got it.
for
Okay,
free.
got it.
And it's really the labor that costs the money. The
sure.
part could be $10 and the labor's $250,
Yeah, and then so no matter what, there's a service call. What's your guys' service call fee?
Our trade call fee is $90 and it's per contractor. So if he can fix 2 or 3 things. So
During
if I
that
have a
call,
tenant say, I have a plumbing problem, I'll say,
Yeah.
okay, well, do you hear the toilet running? Is there any other leaks? And
Might as
so
well
I
fix
can
it when he's there.
call them all in at once.
Yeah.
And then everything's guaranteed for 30 days too. So if it breaks again, we'll go back out and not charge that trade call fee. But I got to tell you, it's really nice on a Saturday if you're out golfing or you're having fun and a tenant calls you and their air conditioner is broke. If you don't have a home warranty, you're thinking, oh my God, I got to stop what I do, find a technician. How much is this going to cost me? I hope I don't need a new unit. Instead, you go online and I swear you hit quick click
Yeah.
and quickly put in a service call. It's
Sure.
so easy. And then you go, I hope they can't fix it because I'll get a brand new unit for my $90 trade call fee.
Right.
And even if they can't find a part,
Yeah.
so like some of these older homes, it could be a $100 fan motor that they can't get anymore. Now they have to replace the entire heating system.
So now, what about that? So if you mentioned there earlier about they're waiting a week to call you because they know that something's broken. If there's an old unit and they know going in, I mean, at what point do you guys just call like BS on them?
Well, we don't have life expectancy. So if something could be 40 years old and only have a 10-year life expectancy, but it's in good, safe working order, then we would cover it.
And even
And
replace it?
yes, if we can't fix it, we always try to fix something first.
Of course, yeah.
But I've talked buyers down off the fence before because they get this home inspection and the contractors put it's at its life expectancy or have it checked by HVAC technician or something like that. And that is a good idea. If the home inspection company says to do that, make sure, because there's probably something he's seeing.
Well, then, because you mentioned earlier too about like service and like doing Freon and whatnot. So at what point do you guys come in and just, you said, you pre-service something, right? Like there's not a problem yet, but you can service it. You guys do that as well?
Yeah, so included in our top 2 plans is HVAC tune-up. You don't have to pay extra, it's automatically covered. Great reason for an agent to reach out to their clients and say, because it's February through the end of April for their air conditioner. And it's so nice to have that checked prior, because if you're 8 pounds low on Freon, you don't know because you haven't had the air conditioner on.
Yeah.
If there's a run capacitor out or something, to get it up and going before it gets busy and all the technicians are busy. And then in the winter, it's September to November, we'll send a technician out and do an HVAC tune-up. There is a trade call fee due.
Sure.
So that's probably one of the biggest things a homeowner's like, oh, I have to pay a trade call fee. But what I like about it is it's our technician going out there. So if it is low on Freon or need a repair, it's not someone that's coming for a low price to come out and, hopefully something's broken that they can make some money on.
And a simple fix at that point versus like when it's broken in the middle of August.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's nice to have it checked before.
And then sellers. So you guys used to or have a seller's policy. Is that something that you guys still do?
Seller's coverage is the best kept secret in home warranty. It's the best kept secret for an agent.
So they should get it at time of listing.
At the time of listing. So when you take a listing, go online, order it, have the confirmation number ready. Now we're not going to rehab a home. So if it's vacant, you don't know if something's working.
Sure.
I've had agents call me and say, hey, we're doing a home inspection tomorrow. I want to throw seller's coverage on there. It doesn't work for that.
Sure.
But how many times have you had a listing for a month or 2-3 months and the water heater goes out, the garage door opener won't open, especially from the home inspection till it closes.
Sure.
It's kind of like a gap. And now what happens is when the buyer moves in, we see that there's been a home warranty on there for 60 days or 30 days. So it also makes it transfer to the new buyer also that everything was working. But it's the best kept secret for an agent, because if I went on a listing presentation to you to list your house, I would tell them all the wonderful things you do and marketing and everything. But what else sets me apart is I provide you a home warranty while you're listed. So if any of these items, and you show them the brochure, should break down, and they're working now, they'll come out, and all you pay is a trade call fee. So, whether it's a tankless water heater, the only limit on that is on air conditioning. We'll only cover up to $1,500 for the air conditioning while it's on seller's coverage, because we've got a business replacing $10,000 units and stuff. But it's a really great tool because it's $1.52 a day. But if you don't close, you don't pay, even if we did work on the home.
But you still have the service call.
Yeah. So the homeowner pays the service call, gets a new dishwasher, and they decide to go sell with someone else or not, take it off the market. But it's a great tool, because how many times you're a week before you're closing, or the buyer moves in and the first time they go to use it, it's not working. Well, this really helps transfer it over.
So I don't have the price sheet, and it might be a little bit of a loaded question, but as a buyer's agent writing the contract, what price should they be asking for? What level of coverage should they be asking for?
Well, the best price and the best coverage is $825, and that's the Enhanced Plus. Prices go up usually every year, but they usually throw more things in there. I know there is a new product coming out, and what I love about the new product coming out is it's going to let the agent be able to take a lower price plan, $705, and add $100 for the modification coverage. So that's a really important coverage to have. But we have plans that start at $555 with air conditioning, $65, and it covers washer, dryer, refrigerator, plus all the other things in the home. Heating, plumbing, electrical panels. You know how many electrical panels they've placed over there in Sun City? The whole panel.
Just because
the panel goes out. It's not like 1960s.
Interesting.
So
So then I guess, okay. So then at what point do you guys stop and does homeowners insurance take over? So let's go ahead and say there is a plumbing issue. You guys stop at the structure itself, correct?
Some of the plumbing in our higher plans, or if you get extended pipe leak coverage, even covers the pipe outside to the main shutoff, the hose bibs, and tree roots up to $250. So
In like the main, like the sewer line?
plans.
So from connection to street to house, you guys cover that?
Yeah, to the main shutoff.
To the water, that's just the water shut
Yeah,
off. But what
yeah.
about from like the sewer line going from house to
Yeah.
sewer?
Yes, we cover that.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cities are notorious for that right now.
Yes.
Tree roots are just.
Oh, the pipes are getting older, but in tree roots we only cover up to 250. But you know what? A lot of times we cover hydrojetting too. So sometimes we can go out, not just use a sewer cable, but do hydrojetting.
Yeah.
So that's really nice also.
Huh.
But looking
at I never thought home warranty would be interesting. I'm learning something right now.
I love home warranty. You need to know anything. And something that I like to do too, just like you're an expert in real estate, I like for my agents to know that I'm an expert in home warranties.
Sure.
So whether it's my company or another company, I'm not going to, trash anybody else, but I can say, hey, ask for a second opinion, or hey, so there's a lot of things that you can do and know.
Don't ask for a second opinion.
Huh?
Don't ask for a second opinion.
On the no, I meant on the, not for me. No,
Oh, yeah.
don't ask for a second opinion on me. No, I meant for like the contractor. So many times, and I know all the best contractors. So, I mean, I have their phone numbers in my phone, text them, hey, what do you think about this? Or can you get out to this person? She's elderly.
Yeah.
They need sooner service.
I actually feel pretty bad because I've done so little research on a home warranty. It's pretty pathetic. Like even to I get it all the time, and I'm guilty of it myself, is someone will put in, just a generic price in the contract and it's short, right? And it's like, how much does this cost versus like, okay, there's a pool upgrade, or there's a built-in refrigerator upgrade, or there's a built-in something.
The house is
upgrade.
over 5,000 square feet.
All the little things that you don't read the brochure on, right? So
4 extra ice makers, things like that.
So I guess that'd be a big thing too, just to let our agents know, is that when you're writing the offer, make sure you do understand the pricing of what you're asking for, because you can under ask, and now the seller's only obligated to pay whatever you ask for, and you wanted to cover X, Y, and Z.
Forgot to put the pool on there, or septic.
For sure. Now you're paying for it as the agent because it was your mess up. But and we get that a lot, and I'm probably guilty of it myself.
Yeah, always put enough.
Yeah.
And then also don't put too much. I had an agent the other day. She had 3 offers, and one of the offers was $2,000 for the warranty, and she called me, and the house was under 5,000 square feet, and I'm like, man, if they get the best price, $825 with a pool, with $60 for 4 more refrigerators, you're at $1,100.
Yeah.
And they had 2,000, so that could hurt you too if you put too much. But it's
just open the brochure or call you.
The back of the brochure is the best, or a simple text. I probably get 5 to 10 text messages a day. Hey, I'm writing up an offer.
Read the brochure. You don't need to.
Go to the back of the plan. No.
I won't bug you with the text. I mean, shoot, over my 27 years, I think I probably called you 5 times. I know there probably was an issy, but like I try not to bug her if there is an issue, but just know that she's there.
I had an agent once telling me, he goes, you know why I use you? And I go, why? And he goes, because I don't know your number by heart.
Yeah. Right, good. Yeah.
I mean, if you had to be doing that all the time, then it's not worth it.
That's pretty funny, actually, thinking of it that way. That's even better.
Talking about septics, though, septics and well, I had an agent once in Temecula. She says, hey, you guys are out for a stoppage, but they're telling us the septic's full. It's not full. We had it certified and pumped. I go, but you have the coverage, and our tech is saying it's full. So we sent the septic company to go out to pump it, and there was 2 septics on the property, and they didn't know that there was 2.
The seller didn't know there was 2?
Yeah, well, they probably forgot.
Yeah, I'm thinking they didn't. So okay, well, give me some scenarios that you come across that agents should be aware of like that. Like what should they?
I think the purchase, like what you said, the purchase agreement, making sure that you write in the coverage, because it always comes back on them, like you didn't have enough money. Also, I had an agent say, hey, Kathy, can you give me a discount on the home warranty because I have to pay for it? And I go, why do you have to pay for it? And he goes, because he forgot to check the box for the seller to pay. So they didn't ask the seller, but the buyer thought they were getting one. And so the agent had to just by not checking that box. Another thing too is your purchase agreement is your paper trail. So say 6 months from now, a homeowner calls us and they need pool coverage or they need air conditioning coverage and it's not on their, okay, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to say, get me a copy of your purchase agreement. If it's on there, I'm able to let you add it and take care of the service problem. So that paper trail for your purchase agreement is really important to fill that out. Just put more than less.
Sure. And then I know Cane Lake's different because we have heat pumps, right? So what's the difference between writing one for AC versus a heat pump?
Yeah, well, heat pumps are automatically included.
Okay.
So, you know, there's going to be some other coverages that we have that you might not have. Water softeners are included. Some companies you have to pay an extra $80 for it, but it's included. So heat pumps, we cover that. So it's still going to cover the ductwork, the thermostats, and all of that on the heat pump. But it's automatically included in the plans.
All right. What should other, I mean, so I'm not asking you something probably because I didn't read much of your email, but what should agents be more aware of, or what am I missing? A loaded question. That's a little unfair. Give me some stories of things that you've had to jump in and fix for agents that did something wrong.
Well, here's one that you would have never known about. And there's always a no man's land too.
Sure.
So, you know, you have a home inspection, you have a home warranty, you did everything you can, and we go out and there's a nail in the pipe. That's not normal wear and tear.
New construction, obviously.
Yeah. So, you know, or not new. It just took 10 years to finally, you know, leak or whatever. I had one where there was a microwave and the agent called me and she goes, Kathy, you're not covering the microwave because it's got legs. And I'm like, what? And sure enough, somebody took a portable microwave and built it in the wall. Well, home warranties don't cover portable microwaves.
Got it, yeah.
And they don't cover improper installations. So it was vented through the top and it overheated.
Sure.
So that was a great thing. And if you're loyal, there's things like that we can just make go away.
Right.
You know, I mean, obviously we can't cover everything all the time. We don't cover like, you know, shower pans and things like that. But
well, that goes to your homeowner insurance at that point, I'd imagine.
The damage would, but they don't cover the shower pan if it's leaking, but if there's damage. So that's how too, is we dovetail with homeowners insurance. So we cover the actual item, the home insurance covers the damage it does.
Interesting. And that's the one good thing too. So like, you know, when I was over at Colwell, my mom was big on, speaking of loyalty, if all of our agents use Kathy, which I'm going to advocate for, not that we're going to get special service, but you know, we're
absolutely you are.
Well, to a certain extent, I'm not asking for that. I would never ask for special service, but when there is an issue, it helps all of us get to that point where, okay, well, we need to cover that, and Kathy understands that, you know, there was a honest mistake as opposed to just not doing your job properly, right? So, I guess if there was something that I could take away from this is, you know, really take the brochure, understand the home warranty, and when you're writing the offers, write the offer correctly. And again, Kim will laugh because I'm guilty of it and writing wrong prices or not including something or missing something. But just like everything else, you gotta, you know,
be thorough.
Good input, good output, kind of a thing, right? So just know what you're doing on the way in. So,
but loyalty is really important.
Yeah.
And you know, my big line is, "This is my best agent." You know, I got to do this.
Yeah. Right.
But it's really important to have that contact person with the rep that's in your area, because if you need a second opinion, you know. And I always try to make it too, where they don't have to go to the big wig of their company, the broker. You know, they can come to me. I mean. Rarely ever, unless they didn't know, that they could just come and say, hey, I need some help, you know. But just like home inspectors or appraisers and stuff, contractors, they make a difference. And sometimes a second opinion just knows he's going out there after somebody else and's got to find it. Like we couldn't find a Freon leak the other day. And, you know, it's hard for us to fix it if we can't find the Freon leak. So I sent Cathedral Air out there and bam, you know, it's done.
So that you mentioned that a little bit ago too. You have a pretty robust list of contractors. So if somebody, I guess, if you're rehabbing a house, call you, have you run it. But then could you provide our agents, or I guess it's all local A list of contractors? I don't know.
You just made me think of something really great. So say you're doing a home inspection and there's something that the seller has to fix. Don't let their brother, sister's mother fix it, you know. Use somebody that you know that's going to be there after, especially if you're the buyer's agent, maybe ask for that.
Yeah.
I've had agents come to me and say, who do you use for plumbing? You know, who do you use for air conditioning? I'm like, call Barry from Bear Creek.
Okay.
And so say you get that done and now you've used a technician that we use.
And then you're going to follow
And then you're going to put that
Sure.
that invoice in your file that this was done and it was done by a local licensed contractor, and you have somebody to go back to, or it would be covered by your home warranty.
That's
so
a good idea.
Yeah.
Did you just think of that?
No, we do it all the time.
I was like, wow, that's a good idea.
No, you know how many times is that then they can't even get an answer back from the seller,
Sure.
you know, that fixed something and who fixed it and where's the invoice and did they really fix it?
Yeah.
And a lot of times the seller tells us too much when they call in. They're saying, well, the seller was supposed to fix that and they didn't, and you know, so it's nice for the buyer's agent to either, you know, have some type of input on who's gonna fix it or have the invoice.
And also with that too, I mean, it's important when you're writing the contract, you know, when seller chooses services and it's title or escrow, it's one thing, but when you're talking about home warranty, you're wanting your people on home warranty, not the seller's home warranty, because the seller's gone. The listing agent is going to try and maybe count that out.
Yeah.
Don't let them, because as the buyer's agent, you want to make sure that you're taking care of your buyer, not the seller's, you know, who's leaving. So
you need the connection and who to go to if it closes to make that one, because you need to go back to work.
Yeah, sure.
You don't need, you know, all I do is I say, that job's done,
Yeah.
you know, and, you know, let you update you on what, you know, I got the parts overnighted or whatever it is. So
actually, I'm going to rephrase that.
So
actually, if you're a listing agent, counter it out to Kathy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so get both sides of it.
Yeah, because guess what? You're the second phone call.
Sure. Yeah.
And you know, if they're using some off-the-wall
Protect your seller
company,
to a certain extent. Yeah.
you know, that doesn't have a rep or doesn't have something like that too. But the first call is to the buyer's agent.
Sure.
And then hopefully it just stops there and they have a good connection with the home warranty. But the next step is calling the listing agent saying, hey, you know, did you know that this is, you know, improperly installed, or, you know, something like that.
So on the selling side, count it out to Fidelity, and Kathy. And if you're on the buyer's side, write it.
Write it in. Write me in.
Cool. All right. Well, then what else?
I think, we already talked about the home warranties being really good for investment properties, new homes. So many times agents go out there and
new homes, as far as like tract house new homes or custom homes?
New homes, yeah. And it's really good to have it on there because it covers years 2 to 5. And so it's 4 years of coverage. It's transferable. So it could be transferred to the new buyer if they sell within that. But it's a great way for an agent to set themselves apart from other agents again. And homeowners, they don't know that they can buy through you on the new homes. And a lot of the new homes tracts are offering 3%.
Yeah.
Or $10,000 or something. They're offering something, so you can tie that in.
It's funny that comes in waves and different builders that when the market's really good,
yeah,
kick us to the curb, and then when they need you, they invite you back in.
But you know, I've had an agent say, "Oh my God, I've been working with this buyer for 3 months, and they stopped in one weekend and bought a new home."
Yeah.
So tell them up front. You know, even if you're buying a new home, I could help you.
Sure.
And then you can negotiate in a home warranty, or they can pick it up as a gift.
So yeah, so I guess piggyback on that. So if you're buying a new house and the builder has a warranty, you guys pick up after the builder's warranty, or how does that work?
Yeah, so it's years 2 because they cover the first year.
That's it.
And then it covers manufacturer warranty. So if that air conditioner or the water heater has a 10-year, we're going to cover that also.
Interesting. Okay.
But it's because they don't cover it usually after the first year. And it's a really good idea. I did a home inspection when I bought a new house at year 1. Because you have all that you could turn into them. And they found a cap on the top of the air conditioning vent where the birds could go in. So that's a good idea too. So, but having that home warranty on the new homes is really great.
Interesting. Kim, what are you seeing out there?
I'm not even listening.
Oh, come on. You're dealing with agents all the time. Kim's RTC, so
Yeah.
to see all the fun stuff.
She knows me. Hi, darling.
I need input from you.
Oh, speaking of which, you always do. So, okay.
On the tape right there.
Yeah,
She needs Liam.
she does. Yeah. So we're going to take Kathy's information and give it to all you guys. If you have any questions, obviously reach out to her. Don't abuse her, but definitely it's a good contact to have, and so we're going to take care of that contact. So
And then we have, most likely we have a local rep also, and then I would be the strategic manager. So I'm always a phone call away. So whether it's Arizona or wherever it is, Fidelity really wants to work with you.
Cool.
Cool.
Wrapped it up.
All right. Oh my God, it was a lot easier than I thought. I was like, what? I think I did